Over the past few days, Donald Trump had his big Mount Rushmore speech where he went with a whole bunch of people, even though he was asked not to, and they had fireworks, even though they were asked not to, and many of them didn't wear masks, even though they were asked to. But what did happen at the event was that Donald Trump made clear his campaign strategy going forward. It's not going to be about the pandemic. It's not going to be about his second term. He seems to have no idea what that's going to be like. It's about the culture war, and specifically racializing the culture war. So I want to give you a couple of the quotes from the speech. You have this: angry mobs are trying to tear down statues of our founders, deface our most sacred memorials, and unleash a wave of violent crime in our cities. So the protests that are going on about police brutality and reform of the police, no, it is a wave of violent crime meant to deface that which is sacred. So that's your appetizer, Francesca, to give you an idea of how he's going to react.
He says on sacred Lakota territory, just in terms of defacing what's sacred, right in front of Mount Rushmore, which was carved into the Black Hills, violating a treaty with Native Americans. But please, no, continue.
Yeah, and so I'm glad that you pointed it out, because this really feels like another Tulsa moment where, like, you'd have to be so ignorant to not get the obvious juxtaposition there that it seems purposeful at that point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is.
Anyway, he goes on to say, make no mistake, this left-wing cultural revolution is designed to overthrow the American Revolution. Yeah, if there's one thing leftists want, it's a monarch again. And Britain. I don't know. And
Boris, take us back, please.
So that's Trump. Ted Cruz tweeted something effectively the same thing. It's that the radical left wing is like taking over. This is their coup. And everyone, including Representative AOC, pointed out, like, why do we choose Biden then? Like, if the Dems are bowing down to the radical left, then Biden, he's like the most moderate of all of the candidates that were running, other than maybe Klobuchar. I don't know. Seems like a weird thing. But anyway, he goes on to say, they think the American people are weak and soft and submissive. No, dude, just you. But no, the American people are strong and proud, and they will not allow our country and all of its values, history, and culture to be taken from them. So all of this is just statue, KKK memorial, KKK memorial, KKK memorial. It's just that. The whole speech effectively was, I'm going to protect the traitors and the racists that still have statues standing. That's it.
I'm going to protect the losers, like I will be in November. All right? I am a loser. There will be no statue to him. We're done with that. Confederates lost, man. They lost on a BS premise on top of that. Not only that, they fought for something terrible. And we're still fighting these wars, and we're still fighting part of the Civil War now. So, I mean, yeah, it makes sense that this is his strategy, of course, because he is the last gasp of white male straight supremacy, wealthy supremacy. He's the last gasp. I mean, we all know just a fraction of the things, if any other president had done them, how immediately they would have been impeached. I mean, this last week, right? You know, I think a lot of mainstream outlets talked about this, and that's fair. But I mean, just imagine what would have happened if Obama had ignored intelligence that Russia had put bounties on American soldiers. Like, what? Over, gone, you know? But we have such a weak opposition. We have such a weak Democratic Party, and we're relying so much on November. You know, it is actually really frustrating. But I will say, yeah, it's all he's got left, John. He doesn't have the economy left, so this is all he's got left.
That's true. I mean, they made their play. Or like, ignore the pandemic, and maybe the economy will come back, and a bunch of people die. But don't worry about that; just the economy will come back. But that's not actually how it works. Those things are actually related. And you're right. You pointed out that, like, but also, we had, I think it was Joni Ernst was on, I think, Fox News over the weekend, and she was asked, she was like, you called Obama a failed leader because 2 people died from Ebola. Well, what is it? 65,000 times as many people have died from coronavirus. So is that failed leadership? No, I think the president is stepping forward, she said. Like, I didn't even choose to play it, but I did think of it because it's just Yeah, he can do literally anything he wants. Like policy, in terms of expectations for what the government is actually going to do or protect you from, all of that, there isn't anything anymore. You don't hear Trump fans saying, here's what I want Trump to do. I want him to deliver on Medicare, or I want him to, like, not even taxes, even the financial stuff from his base. There's no expectations. There's no desire or policy wishes. There's just punch him in the face, make him cry, make me not feel as bad for being a racist as I do right now. It is all white identity politics. That's all that's left.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. And I just want to say, like, to any Trump voters, if you know Trump voters, you could reach out to them and just be like, hey, bro, you know, you could still be racist without the president. Like, you don't need him
They will be.
to support your dumb ideology. And they will be. So, like, let's all remember, of course, that no matter what happens in November, racism and white supremacy will still be around, even more so, because they'll all think that, you know, if Trump loses, you know, he'll be a martyr in their eyes. But also at the same time, it's like, as Democrats or as progressives, we have to remember that just getting him out is obviously not the only solution.
Yeah.
And for Trump voters, it's like, bruh, you could hitch your, you know, white supremacist horse to another wagon. You just choose not to. Like Joni Ernst, like, you just choose to go down with this ship. The entire Republican Party is going down with this ship. You know, you wonder what comes next.
Yeah, well, I guess what I've seen a lot of articles say is coming next is Tucker Carlson 2024. Where that's why I disagree with you that it's the last gasp of, like, white mediocre racism. Tucker Carlson, that's his brand. And all he has to do is keep demagoguing about race. And in 2022, in the spring, you know, when they start to run, all the candidates are coming out, he will announce that he was Q the whole time. And every Republican will love him. And by the way, why shouldn't he? How would anyone prove he isn't?
No, exactly.
Doesn't matter. He'll just say yes. So
I don't know if Q uses that much bronzer.
That's a good point.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.